Imagine if I told you that dedicating just 1 hour of your day could completely transform the trajectory of your life. Now, I know what you're thinking, 1 hour isn't enough, but let me challenge that belief. Science shows us that it's not the quantity of time, but how we use it that matters. 1 hour, if channeled correctly, can reshape your mindset, reset your habits, and ultimately propel you towards the life you've always desired. Today, I want to show you how a simple, deliberate hour can be your game changer, your tool for creating lasting change. We'll dive into the neuroscience of habit formation, the importance of focus, and the power of consistency. And I'll guide you through actionable strategies that will allow you to take that 1 hour and use it to unlock your full potential. Consistency is a powerful force. It's the foundation of progress, the engine that drives us toward our goals. But here's the thing. We often underestimate the impact of small, consistent actions. We live in a world where instant results and shortcuts are constantly promoted, but real, sustainable success is built on the foundation of steady, ongoing effort. The power of consistency is not about doing something big or drastic every day. It's about doing something every day, no matter how small it may seem in the moment. When we commit to consistency, we are committing to a process. The key is showing up even when you don't feel like it, even when the results aren't immediately visible. This is where many people falter. They expect quick results, but the truth is that real transformation takes time. If you dedicate just a little bit of time each day, over time, those small actions begin to stack up. It's like building a wall, brick by brick. You might not see the structure take shape immediately, but if you keep adding just one more brick every day, eventually the wall will be built. The most successful people in the world aren't necessarily the most talented or the luckiest. They're the ones who have mastered consistency. They do the things they need to do every single day, even on the days when motivation is low. Think about any skill or habit that you've developed in your life, whether it's playing an instrument, building a business, or simply becoming more physically fit. The key to getting better at anything is showing up and putting in the work day in and day out. The problem is that we often overlook the power of small incremental actions because they don't give us the instant gratification we crave. But those little efforts, whether it's writing 500 words a day, doing a 10-minute workout, or spending 20 minutes learning something new, add up. Over time, they build a foundation that supports larger, more significant achievements. It's not about doing everything at once, but about taking consistent steps in the right direction, no matter how small. Another critical aspect of consistency is that it creates momentum. When you show up every day, you create a rhythm, a habit that becomes part of who you are. You stop thinking about whether or not you'll do the work because it becomes automatic. This momentum can propel you forward even when the initial excitement of starting something new fades. As you continue to show up, the results become more visible and you start to gain confidence. This confidence then drives you to keep going, creating a positive feedback loop. Think about the compounding effect of your actions. 1 hour a day doesn't feel like much when you're in the middle of it, but what happens after a month, a year, or 5 years? The results begin to multiply in ways that you can't predict at the start. The brain, when faced with repeated actions, starts to wire itself differently. Your habits become ingrained and they support you in ways you never thought possible. This is how change happens. It's not the massive effort that leads to transformation. It's the consistent effort that over time moves the needle. At the heart of consistency is patience. We must learn to trust the process, even when we can't immediately see the outcome. This is where many people give up. They think they're not making progress because they're not seeing the results fast enough. But progress is often invisible in the beginning. It's happening beneath the surface in ways we can't always measure immediately. The key is to stay the course, to keep showing up even when the rewards don't seem to be there yet. When you embrace consistency, you stop focusing on the immediate result and instead start focusing on the long-term transformation. Each day becomes an opportunity to build momentum, and as time goes on, your actions will compound in ways that create success beyond what you could have imagined. The more consistent you are, the more you will see how small daily actions can lead to extraordinary results. It's not about perfection or doing everything right. It's about simply showing up day after day and letting that consistency work its magic. Focused effort is one of the most critical components of achieving success. In a world where distractions are constant and attention spans are shrinking, the ability to dedicate focused, uninterrupted time to a task is a skill that can set you apart from the crowd. When we talk about focused effort, we're not just talking about working hard or working long hours. We're talking about working with intention, purpose, and full engagement during that time. It's not about how much time you spend on something. It's about how much of your mind and energy you dedicate to the task at hand in that moment. Our brains are designed to focus on one thing at a time. However, in today's digital age, we've created an environment that constantly pulls our attention in multiple directions. Social media, emails, notifications, and the general noise of the world make it difficult to stay focused for extended periods. The result is that even though we may spend hours working, we often feel like we haven't really accomplished much. The reason is simple. We haven't truly focused on what we were supposed to be doing. The mind constantly wanders, and in that state, our productivity and creativity suffer. Unfocused effort requires eliminating distractions and being present in the task. When you dedicate 1 hour to a specific activity, that time must be completely yours. This means setting boundaries, shutting off notifications, and resisting the temptation to multitask. Multitasking is often seen as a sign of productivity, but in reality, it only spreads your attention thin and leads to lower quality work. Studies show that when we try to multitask, we actually do each task less efficiently. True focus means putting everything else aside for that hour and giving your full attention to the task, whatever it may be. The benefits of focused effort are immense. When we focus deeply on one task, we tap into our ability to perform at our highest level. Our brains can process information more effectively and we can solve problems more creatively. Focused effort allows us to enter a state of flow, where we become so absorbed in our work that time seems to disappear. In this state, we are at our most productive and innovative, and the quality of our work improves dramatically. But achieving this level of focus is not always easy. In fact, it takes practice. Our brains are naturally wired to be easily distracted, and it can take time to train ourselves to stay on task. However, the more we practice focused effort, the easier it becomes. One of the most effective ways to build this skill is by setting specific, clear goals for each session of focused work. Instead of just saying, I'm going to work for an hour, break that hour into smaller, actionable tasks. This gives your brain a clear target and reduces the likelihood of drifting off course. By setting defined goals, you give yourself a sense of purpose, making it easier to concentrate and make real progress. Another powerful technique for building focused effort is to structure your time effectively. The Pomodoro technique, for example, involves working for 25-minute intervals with short breaks in between. This approach capitalizes on our natural attention span and helps keep the mind fresh and focused. Whether it's a technique like this or simply dedicating a full hour to deep work, the key is to stay disciplined in your approach. Focus isn't just about pushing through a task, it's about making sure that each minute counts. When you give your full attention to something for an hour, you can often accomplish more than you would in several hours of distracted work. You tap into your best cognitive resources, and the work you produce is often of a much higher quality. Additionally, when we focus deeply, we also begin to enjoy the process more. Work becomes less about grinding through a long list of tasks and more about engaging fully with the process, whether it's problem solving, creating, or learning something new. Focused effort can also improve your ability to learn and master new skills. When you focus all of your attention on learning, the brain forms stronger neural connections, which leads to faster learning and retention. On the flip side, when you work while distracted, your brain struggles to make those connections and progress slows. The same principle applies to personal growth and development. Whether you're working on your fitness, career, relationships, or spiritual growth, focused effort accelerates your journey. By eliminating distractions and dedicating concentrated time, you ensure that your actions are deliberate, efficient, and aligned with your goals. Focused effort is about creating an environment where you can give your best. It's about removing the noise and distractions that cloud your mind and letting yourself be fully present in whatever you're doing. Whether you dedicate 1 hour a day or several hours, the key is to give that time your full attention. Focused effort amplifies your potential, and over time, it allows you to achieve more in less time. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. When you can harness the power of focused effort, you unlock a new level of productivity, creativity, and success. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This remarkable feature is one of the most powerful aspects of human biology because it means that the brain is not a fixed entity. It is, in fact, highly adaptable, capable of rewiring itself based on the experiences we expose it to. This concept is critical to understanding how we can change our habits, improve our skills, and even heal from mental and emotional challenges. The brain isn't something that's predetermined or set in stone. It's a dynamic organ, capable of being shaped by the actions we take, the thoughts we think, and the environment we create. When we think about neuroplasticity, we often think of it in terms of learning a new language or mastering a musical instrument, but its implications go far beyond that. Neuroplasticity is at the heart of how we can change our behavior, mindset, and even emotional responses. Every time we learn something new, whether it's a complex task or a simple habit, the brain forms new connections. These connections are the building blocks of learning and development. When we repeat actions, these neural pathways become stronger and more efficient, eventually becoming automatic. This is why, for instance, after practicing something for a while, it starts to feel natural, almost effortless. Works better. This principle is true for every area of life. If you want to become better at something, whether it's a physical skill, a cognitive task, or emotional regulation, neuroplasticity is your ally. Each time you perform an action or think a particular thought, your brain rewires itself to make that process easier the next time. This is why consistent practice leads to mastery. The more we repeat an activity or thought pattern, the stronger the neural pathways become, and the easier it is for us to perform that task in the future. On the flip side, the brain also rewires itself based on negative or unproductive habits. When you repeatedly engage in negative thinking, unhealthy behaviors, or avoid challenges, your brain strengthens the neural pathways associated with those patterns. This is why, over time, negative habits can become deeply ingrained, sometimes making it feel like it's impossible to change. But the beauty of neuroplasticity is that it works both ways. Just as you can strengthen negative pathways, you can also build new, positive pathways through conscious effort. One of the most profound things about neuroplasticity is that it allows us to overcome challenges that might have seemed insurmountable before. Take, for instance, someone trying to break free from a destructive habit or change an ingrained belief. At first, it may seem impossible because the old neural pathways are so strong, but with consistent effort and practice, new, healthier connections can be made. The brain can literally unlearn old patterns and replace them with new ones. This means that you are not locked into any particular way of thinking or behaving, no matter how deeply ingrained it may seem. You have the power to reshape your brain by choosing your actions, thoughts, and behaviors more intentionally. Neuroplasticity also plays a significant role in emotional resilience. People who consistently practice mindfulness, gratitude, or other positive mental habits are actually rewiring their brains to be more resilient in the face of stress and adversity. With regular practice, the brain becomes better at managing difficult emotions, reducing anxiety, and maintaining a sense of calm. This is why regular meditation, deep breathing, or even just taking time for self-reflection can have such a profound effect on mental well-being. These practices encourage the brain to form new neural connections that help you stay grounded no matter what challenges you face. Interestingly, neuroplasticity also explains why change can feel difficult, especially in the beginning. The brain is efficient and it likes routines. When you try to break a habit or form a new one, the brain resists because it's more comfortable with what it already knows. The old neural pathways are already well established and it takes effort to create new ones, but this is where the power of consistency comes in. As you continue to practice new behaviors or thoughts, the brain starts to rewire itself. Slowly, the new pathways strengthen and the old, unproductive ones begin to fade away. What's particularly empowering about neuroplasticity is that it's not limited to younger people or those with certain genetic predispositions. Everyone has the ability to change their brain at any stage of life. While children may have more malleable brains, adults can still make significant changes with consistent effort. This is why it's never too late to learn something new, break free from old habits, or develop emotional resilience. With neuroplasticity on your side, you can keep growing, learning, and improving throughout your entire life. Understanding neuroplasticity is liberating because it puts the power of change back in your hands. Whether you're looking to enhance your abilities, break free from negative habits, or build emotional strength, neuroplasticity provides the scientific basis for why change is not only possible, but achievable. Through intentional, focused effort, you can reshape your brain, your behaviors, and your life. Every time you take action, whether it's as small as practicing a new habit or as significant as overcoming a long-standing challenge, you're actively rewiring your brain to support your goals and aspirations. Time is one of the most precious resources we have, yet it is often the one we take for granted the most. We spend our days with the sense that there is always more time, that tomorrow will bring a new opportunity to start fresh, but the truth is, time is fleeting. We can never get it back, and once a moment is gone, it's gone forever. The way we manage our time has a profound impact on the outcomes we achieve in life. The key is learning how to leverage time effectively. We need to realize that time, when used wisely, can become a tool that accelerates our progress, propels us toward our goals, and builds the life we desire. One of the most important lessons about time is the understanding that it's not about having more time, but about making better use of the time we have. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, yet some people seem to accomplish so much more with theirs. This isn't a matter of luck or exceptional talent, it's a matter of how they use those hours. High achievers don't get more time, they simply make the most out of the time they have. They understand the importance of prioritization, focus, and intentionality. The first step in making the most of your time is recognizing that time spent mindlessly or without purpose is time wasted. Many people spend hours each day on activities that don't contribute to their long-term success, scrolling through social media, binge-watching TV shows, or engaging in conversations that don't serve their growth. While these activities are not inherently bad, they become a problem when they take up more time than necessary and prevent us from focusing on what truly matters. Every minute you spend doing something that doesn't align with your goals is a minute that could have been used for progress. By cutting out these time drains and replacing them with purposeful activities, you can reclaim those lost minutes and turn them into something productive. Effective time management involves understanding the difference between urgent tasks and important ones. Urgent tasks may feel like they require immediate attention, but they often don't move you forward in any meaningful way. Important tasks, on the other hand, have a significant impact on your life and your future. Learning how to prioritize important tasks over urgent distractions is essential for maximizing your time. When you focus on the things that truly matter, you stop wasting time on things that might feel pressing in the moment, but don't contribute to your long-term vision. This shift in mindset can make all the difference in how much you accomplish over time. Another key to managing time effectively is learning the art of deep work. Deep work refers to the ability to concentrate intensely on a task without distractions. This type of work produces the best results because it taps into your full cognitive capabilities. In today's world, where distractions are everywhere, the ability to focus on a task for an extended period of time is a rare skill. When you can carve out blocks of uninterrupted time to focus solely on your most important tasks, you create an environment where significant progress can be made. The beauty of deep work is that it allows you to achieve more in less time. You aren't bouncing between tasks, wasting energy on switching your focus. Instead, you are completely absorbed in one activity, which leads to higher quality work and faster results. Time is also about energy. How you manage your energy throughout the day plays a crucial role in how effectively you use your time. If you're exhausted, overwhelmed, or stressed, your ability to focus and perform at your best is compromised. This is why self-care, rest, and recharging are just as important as productivity. When you take care of your body, mind, and emotions, you're better equipped to use your time efficiently. Time management isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter, and part of working smarter is knowing when to take a break and recharge. It's also important to recognize that time is not just for work. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and grind, but a life focused solely on achievement can lead to burnout. Balance is key. Taking time to enjoy the things you love, to spend time with loved ones, or to engage in activities that rejuvenate you is just as important as working toward your goals. By making space for rest and enjoyment, you actually enhance your ability to be productive when you return to your work. Time spent recharging is time well spent, and it enables you to come back stronger, more focused, and more effective. Remember that time is something you can't control. It's always moving forward, whether you're ready or not. The only thing you can control is how you choose to use it. Time doesn't wait for anyone. Procrastination, hesitation, and waiting for the right moment all steal time from your life. The time to act is now. The key is recognizing that each moment counts, and by being intentional with how you use your time, you can create the life you want to live. Start small, but start now. The most successful people aren't those who wait for the perfect moment. They are the ones who take action in the moments they have. Time is a gift. Don't let it slip away without making the most of it. Discipline is one of the most crucial factors in achieving long-term success and personal growth. It's the ability to stay committed to a task even when motivation wanes or when external circumstances make the pursuit difficult. While motivation often comes and goes, discipline is a constant force that propels you forward, regardless of how you feel in the moment. The power of discipline lies in its ability to create a foundation for consistent progress. Without discipline, it's easy to start a project or pursue a goal, but it's much harder to finish it or see it through to the end. The key to discipline is understanding that it's not about always feeling excited or energized to work toward your goals. It's about showing up, even when you don't want to, and doing the work that needs to be done. It's about committing to the process, not just the outcome. When you develop the discipline to keep going, even when things get tough, you're setting yourself up for success in the long run. Discipline involves creating habits that support your goals and sticking to them, regardless of external distractions or temporary feelings of discomfort. These habits, once ingrained, become automatic, allowing you to make progress without having to think about it constantly. One of the most important aspects of discipline is the ability to delay gratification. In a world that thrives on instant gratification, where we can get things immediately with just the click of a button, delaying gratification is a skill that must be consciously developed. Discipline requires us to make choices that align with our long-term goals, even if those choices aren't immediately rewarding. It's about understanding that the sacrifices you make today, whether it's working on a project instead of going out with friends or focusing on self-improvement rather than indulging in distractions, will pay off in the future. By practicing delayed gratification, you learn to focus on the bigger picture, not just the immediate pleasures that might derail your progress. Thinks diplomacy, Athens right. A disciplined mindset also requires developing a strong sense of self-control. Self-control is the ability to resist impulses, temptations, and distractions that might lead you off course. It's about being able to make decisions that are in alignment with your values and goals, even when it's difficult. Self-control is often tested when we're faced with situations that offer short-term rewards but distract us from our long-term objectives. The more you strengthen your self-control, the more you'll find that you're able to stay focused on what matters most. This is particularly important when pursuing personal growth or striving toward ambitious goals, as you'll inevitably face moments when it's easy to give in to distractions or fall back into old habits. Another key element of discipline is consistency. It's not enough to be disciplined once in a while. You must show up consistently, day after day, to build momentum and make real progress. Success doesn't come from sporadic bursts of effort. It comes from sustained, persistent action over time. Whether it's working toward a career goal, improving your fitness, or learning a new skill, consistency is what drives success. The small, everyday actions you take may not seem significant at the moment, but over time, they compound and lead to massive results. Discipline is what helps you maintain that consistency, even when it feels like progress is slow or invisible. One of the best ways to cultivate discipline is by setting clear goals and creating a structured plan to achieve them. Goals give you a clear sense of direction, and a plan outlines the steps you need to take to reach those goals. When you have a roadmap, it's easier to stay disciplined because you know exactly what needs to be done. Without goals, it's easy to drift, and without a plan, it's hard to stay focused. A clear structure helps you stay organized and motivated, even when things get tough. It's also important to understand that discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about progress. You're going to face setbacks, distractions, and moments where you falter. However, the key is to get back on track as quickly as possible. Discipline isn't about never failing. It's about having the resilience to keep going after failure, to learn from mistakes, and to use them as stepping stones toward greater success. This mindset shift is essential to building true discipline. It's about embracing the journey, knowing that there will be bumps along the way, and understanding that the consistent effort you put in will eventually lead to the results you want. Developing discipline isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time, patience, and practice. But just like any skill, the more you work on it, the stronger it becomes. Start small, build habits, and remain committed. Discipline will gradually become a part of who you are, and as it does, you'll begin to see how it transforms every aspect of your life. Whether it's achieving a personal goal, improving your health, or advancing your career, discipline is the key that unlocks your potential. Your mindset plays a pivotal role in determining the direction and outcome of your life. It shapes how you perceive challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. A growth-oriented mindset is the foundation for success in any endeavor. When you cultivate a mindset focused on learning, adaptability, and resilience, you set yourself up for continuous progress. This type of mindset doesn't just focus on what's achievable today, it focuses on what's possible in the future. It's the belief that with effort and persistence, you can overcome obstacles, grow from mistakes, and continuously improve. This mindset empowers you to transform setbacks into lessons, failures into stepping stones, and difficulties into opportunities for growth. One of the fundamental aspects of a growth mindset is the ability to embrace challenges. Many people shy away from difficulties because they fear failure or discomfort. However, those with a growth mindset understand that challenges are necessary for growth. Each challenge is an opportunity to develop new skills, gain new knowledge, and expand your abilities. Instead of avoiding difficulties, you approach them with the belief that you can learn and improve by overcoming them. This mindset enables you to take on projects that might seem intimidating at first, knowing that even if you don't succeed immediately, you'll gain valuable experience that will propel you forward. Equally important is the ability to view failure as a learning experience rather than something to be feared or avoided. People with a growth mindset don't see failure as an end. They see it as a temporary setback that is part of the process of achieving success. Instead of being discouraged by mistakes, they take the time to analyze what went wrong, learn from it, and adjust their approach. This perspective allows them to keep moving forward, even when things don't go as planned. They understand that failure is not a reflection of their abilities, but a natural part of the journey towards success. Each failure brings them closer to their ultimate goal because they are constantly learning and refining their approach. In addition to embracing challenges and learning from failure, a growth mindset also requires a willingness to put in the work. It's not enough to simply hope for success or wish for things to change. You must take consistent action toward your goals. This action must be guided by persistence and effort, even when progress is slow or the path is unclear. Those with a growth mindset are willing to put in the effort day after day, knowing that hard work eventually leads to success. They understand that the process is just as important as the outcome and that progress is made in small incremental steps. This attitude fosters patience and perseverance, which are essential for achieving long-term goals. The way you view your abilities also plays a critical role in shaping your mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities are limited and static. They think that talent or intelligence is something you're born with and that it can't be changed. This belief can limit potential because it discourages people from trying new things or pushing themselves beyond their current capabilities. On the other hand, a growth mindset is based on the belief that abilities can be developed through effort, practice, and learning. This belief opens up endless possibilities because it means you are never limited by what you know right now. With a growth mindset, the sky's the limit because you know that with time and dedication, you can acquire new skills and master new challenges. Another aspect of a growth mindset is the belief in the power of feedback. People with this mindset actively seek feedback because they view it as a valuable tool for improvement. They don't take constructive criticism personally, but use it to refine their approach and enhance their performance. They understand that feedback is a necessary part of growth and that it helps them identify areas for improvement. This willingness to accept and act on feedback is essential for continuous development. It encourages an open-minded approach to self-improvement where every piece of advice is seen as an opportunity to learn. Having a growth mindset fosters resilience. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and the road to success is rarely straight. When you encounter setbacks or obstacles, it's easy to feel discouraged or defeated. However, a growth mindset allows you to bounce back from adversity. It encourages you to look at challenges as temporary and surmountable. Resilience is built by maintaining a positive attitude and continuing to move forward even when faced with adversity. Instead of giving up, those with a growth mindset push through difficulties, knowing that persistence and effort will ultimately lead to success. This resilience is what enables individuals to achieve their most ambitious goals, even when the odds seem stacked against them. Developing a growth mindset is not an overnight process, but it is one of the most valuable shifts you can make in your life. By embracing challenges, learning from failure, putting in the work, believing in the power of feedback, and cultivating resilience, you create a mindset that supports continual growth and success. A growth mindset is the key to unlocking your full potential and achieving things you once thought were out of reach.